He was born Herman Webster Mudgett in 1861, but the world would come to know him by a far more terrifying name, H. Holmes. Long before he earned the title of America's first serial killer, Holmes showed early signs of a disturbing mind. As a child, he was unusually intelligent but isolated, fascinated by anatomy and death. Some claim he was bullied and forced to confront a skeleton at school, an event that didn't traumatize him, but excited him. That fascination would grow into obsession. By the time he reached college, Holmes was already scamming insurance companies, stealing cadavers, and faking identities. He wasn't just a killer in the making, he was a master manipulator, a con artist who could charm anyone while hiding his darkest urges. Unlike most killers driven by rage, Holmes was cold, calculated, and driven by profit, power, and an unrelenting desire to control life and death. This wasn't madness, it was methodical evil. And no one, not friends, not family, not even the victims, ever suspected the monster he would become. Before he ever laid a brick of his infamous murder castle, the darkness was already inside him, growing, waiting. In the heart of Chicago during the 1893 World's Fair, H. Holmes unveiled what would later be called the Murder Castle, a three-story building that appeared to be a normal hotel, but inside was a labyrinth of horror. Designed by Holmes himself, the structure was a masterpiece of deception and death. Hidden rooms, trapdoors, soundproof walls, staircases leading to nowhere, and secret gas lines were all part of a calculated system. Guests checked in and many never checked out. Holmes used fake names, hired and fired construction crews to keep anyone from knowing the full layout, and lured young women to the castle under the promise of work, romance, or safety. Once inside, victims were drugged, suffocated, or tortured in specially designed chambers. Some were drop-down chutes leading to the basement where Holmes allegedly dissected their bodies, burned them in furnaces, or sold the remains to medical schools. The hotel wasn't just a place to sleep, it was a living death trap, and Holmes was its puppet master. Every wall, hallway, and room was designed to kill silently. It was one of the most chilling locations in American criminal history, engineered by a man who saw murder as an art form. For years, H. Holmes moved through life undetected, hiding behind charm, lies, and an endless stream of aliases. But even the most brilliant killers leave cracks. Holmes' downfall didn't begin with a murder, it began with greed. When he attempted to scam an insurance company by faking the death of a business partner, investigators began asking questions. That's when the trail of deception unraveled. As detectives dug deeper, they discovered his hotel wasn't just suspicious. It was a graveyard in disguise. Bodies were missing. Women who had checked in were never seen again. Letters stopped coming. Loved ones filed reports, but no one could prove foul play until police got a search warrant. What they found inside the murder castle was beyond comprehension. Dissecting tables, surgical tools, acid vats, bones, clothing, the blueprint of a madman. Holmes fled, but the hunt was on. Detectives pursued him across states, finally capturing him in Boston. When questioned, Holmes spun more lies, but investigators were closing in with hard evidence and missing persons. His web of deceit was collapsing, and what lay beneath was pure horror. The smiling doctor was no healer. He was the architect of nightmares, and his reckoning had begun. When H. Holmes stood trial in 1895, the public was shocked not just by the crimes, but by the man himself, calm, composed, and eerily unremorseful. He admitted to killing 27 people, though investigators believe the real number could be far higher. Some estimates suggest he may have murdered over 200 victims, many of them lost forever within the secret rooms of his murder castle. The courtroom was packed, newspapers called him the devil in the White City, and people couldn't look away. Holmes manipulated the press, smiled at reporters, and even tried to profit from his story. But in the end, justice caught up. With him, he was sentenced to death and hanged in 1896, yet even in death, he clung to control, requesting his body be buried in concrete to prevent grave robbing or study. Some conspiracy theorists believe he faked his execution entirely. Holmes' legacy is one of manipulation, terror, and cold-blooded planning. He didn't kill in a frenzy, he built a machine for murder, a place where death was designed and suffering was systematic. His crimes left a scar on American history, and his story still haunts Chicago to this day. If you found this video shocking or fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling true crime stories every week.